Hello and welcome back to Talkin Bengals. Feeling like a little bit of Walking Dead this week. A lot of news, a lot of quotables, notables, a lot of dot and T's and crossing I's because the Bengals were always doing things backwards. As always, where's Casey? Wait, he's on the DL. Sorry about that, Casey. I heard you fell, trying to walk over that carpet earlier today. Anyways, getting old sucks and growing your hair just doesn't seem to be working anymore. But Zach, how's it going, man?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back.
Josh, how's it going?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
Just so much to talk about.
yeah. Glad to be back, guys. Glad to be back, Zach. I think you have the first topic to bring up. What do we want to jump right into?
Well, let's just jump right into why haven't we signed Jamar or T yet? I think that's the burning question every Bengals fan has right now is why the deal has still yet to be done for either one of those two. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think that we're holding out on T right now because he's not as much of a must sign as Jamar is. I think that working out the Jamar Chase deal is going to be, in my opinion, the most paramount deal that we make this offseason. I agree. I don't know why we haven't made that deal just yet. Now, T, I understand franchising him, tagging him, giving us the option to, work out a long-term deal. Rappaport saying that he doesn't see, he definitely sees that T and Chase are both getting signed. I think Trey, while he is a valuable player and he is a valuable defensive end and edge rusher, I think that there's other edge rushers. Now, don't hate on me for this, but there are some other edge rushers out there that can do more than just pass rush. And Trey has been really good at pass rush, but a lot of times what I see is watching him over pursue on runs or on pass plays, not being able to drop out into the flats and pick up when he's not doing the rushing. So a little bit more versatility, maybe that might be what they're looking for. Maybe why he doesn't have a deal just yet. But I definitely think that Jamar needs to get signed like yesterday, and then start working on a deal with T and Trey.
For sure.
Gotcha.
And we'll talk more about Trey in a minute. But Josh, what are your thoughts on Jamar and T
Yeah.
situation?
So the whole Jamar and T situation, it seems like it's getting a little contentious now, and maybe it's all by design. Who knows? I mean, keep the Bengals relevant. Keep everyone talking about them. Keep them in your mouth. I mean, there's no other reason. Joe's already said that he's willing to restructure, change a lot of his money to signing bonuses to help the cap, which will help the Bengals. Nobody's talking about that anymore. It kind of just got glossed over. Um, Maybe they have a plan all along. They're going to build the team around these guys, and then everything's just going to come together. That at least is what I am hoping. But right now, there's just way too much to talk about with them because Jamar is giving us way too much to talk about with his Twitter.
I
His
think
Twitter, his Instagram, everything. All of his social media accounts are on fire right now, and I'm here for it because we should have paid him a year ago before the Triple Crown season. We should have paid him during the season. We should have paid him after the season. And here we are. We're going into league starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we still haven't signed him. And that's my frustration with T as well, because T's deal, if it gets done after 4 p.m. tomorrow, guess what? That's a bigger cap hit for 2025 on our salary cap, which is not a good thing. So it's super frustrating to watch both of those individuals not get paid yet because it's just going to cost us more money in the long run, i.e., who is the one that just got the big deal that just
Miles Garrett.
Was it?
Miles Garrett just got a $40 million a year deal.
Yeah. Who? And then there was another one that pushed the market up too for T on T's end. DK Metcalf.
Yep.
That one kind of sucked. Like, well, 33 million for a number one or number two is gonna drive T's market up as well. That's my frustration with it all. I know I ranted on Facebook and a couple other places about it, but moving right along, we've had a couple signings so far in the legal tampering time frame. Uh, which one was the most notable for you guys? Which ones are you guys looking most excited for? Let's start with most excited, and then we'll go
Josh,
to
I'll
the
let
other
you go
stuff.
first.
Samaje P. Ryan. No.
Okay.
No, I mean Samaje, he's going to be third string at this point. He's not going to be. He's going to be in just for passing downs, or maybe they'll use him as a fullback because he can block. But no, the one I think is going to be best. I can't think of his name right now. T whatever the
TJ
defense.
Slayton.
Yeah, him. Um, I mean, he's going to give the Bengals what they need, which is rush defense. Got to be able to stop the run, especially playing in the North. You're playing against teams that want to pound the ball down your throat, and the Bengals were one of the worst teams in the league at stopping the run. So, plugging him in there with BJ Hill, I think that's going to be much needed upgrade. Kind of subtle. It doesn't do a lot from flash, but I think it's going to help give this the back end of this defense a little bit more help.
I
You
agree.
know,
Nick, what about you?
I think that that's a very good. I think that's going to be your biggest impact for just the past day and a half, 2 days of what we've done, especially coming up over the off season. I think that TJ Slayton's definitely the biggest impact, but I think the one I'm most excited to see is kind of split right now for me. I'm really bullish on Oren Burks, um, and I really like Joseph Asai. I think if Joseph Asai played an entire season and got the majority of the snaps at the other end on the other side of Trey, I think that he would have had probably at least double the stats that he had. And double the stats that he had, he's one of the top sack contenders in the league. On top of that, he was pretty solid on the run game, and also really solid with getting to the quarterback and pressuring. Now, not going to say that I'm not excited for Samaje P. Ryan to come back. I love Misa P. Ryan. That man is a freaking beast. He knows how to get it done, and he's a great blocking running back. Um, I, but honestly, like excitement. Mikey G is back. Mikey G is back, baby.
Oh yeah, that was going to be my pick because you guys both went defensive side of the ball. I was going to move over to the offense and talk about Mike Gesicki, but the man fits well with our offense. He loves working with Joe Burrow. His press conference, absorb his what do the kids call it? Aurora is just everything about the Tiger Stripes, and I'm here for it. Right. Um, One I was kind of pretty impressed with, especially since he's a Drew Rosenhaus player, was Marco Wilson. He played a little bit down the stretch there for us at corner, especially with all the injuries. His deal was only for like 1.35 million or something like that for a year extension. Hey, that's great for the salary cap, and that's a good deal. And then I just happened to look up. Apparently, Marco Wilson was working out with my guy Xavier Watts today. So maybe some foreshadowing there, bringing him in from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish during the draft. But this isn't a draft conversation. This is solely what's currently happened so far. So we talked about the good. Let's talk about the bad. What is the one thing that's super disappointing to you so far on the signings so far?
Are we talking about the people that we have actually signed, or the people that
Yes,
we're
the one.
waiting still to be signed?
No. We already talked about that. We're talking about the ones that we have a contractual agreement with so far. The what do I got? 3, 6, 7, 8 players.
I think that it's going to be hands down unanimous Cody Ford. I think that you could pick up an offensive lineman in the draft, late fifth round, and still perform just as good as what Cody Ford has. I mean, I don't even think I need to explain that very much. I mean, when we look at Oren Burks, we got him on a 2-year deal worth only $5 million. That's a steal. The guy can play anywhere on the linebacker range. And look at what he did for Philly when he came in to fill in a spot. He filled in the spot.
Right.
It was like they had their starters out there the whole time. So I mean, I think the Bengals have made some great deals so far. I think that they still need some things to do, obviously in regards to the Chase T and Trey. But the only one I'm kind of disappointed in is Cody Ford.
Josh?
I mean, I kind of have to agree. Even though Cody Ford as a backup, he's proven to be a reliable enough backup.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better than what we had. Let's put it that way. Two of the worst guards in the league. He's going to be better than that, but he's not somebody that you want to start. He's more of an insurance plan. So, I mean, I kind of like and get all of the other moves that they've made. They're just not even close to done.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nick hit the nail on the head. I think it's going to be unanimous on Cody Ford. I do like his versatility. Again, he's a solid backup. I think you got him at a good price at $3 million a year for the next 2 seasons. But at the end of the day, he's just a backup. When you have immediate needs at both guard positions, you don't really need anything on offensive tackle. Oh my gosh, this is gonna kill me.
The Browns, Mims,
Nope. So glad we're doing
Kappa,
this live. No,
Kappa.
Kappa's gone. Bye. See ya.
Yeah,
Enjoy your time in Arizona. God dang it. What's the center's name?
Karras,
There you go. Karras. Teddy Key. Teddy K. But those positions are solid on the offensive line. But obviously we have those pressing needs at guard, and I've looked at again, not to go too far deep into the draft, but I'm not seeing it in the draft either. There's still some notable guards out there as well. I know that there was a dude that they were looking at. They're like, "Oh, you should go get him. You should go get him." Well, he just signed an $88 million deal and with the Vikings. We weren't paying him that because that money's already allocated somewhere else as soon as we just cut those deals. So since we brought up Kappa, obviously Kappa signing with Arizona, with the Raiders. ADG signed with Arizona, and then Sheldon Rankins going back to the Texans. I guess that viral meningitis was just Cincinnati native, so he can go back to Houston and try to help them out. So, any comments on the 3 losses that you guys want to talk about, other than bye? Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right. So let's move on to the trade market for Trey Hendrickson. I think the Myles Garrett deal really solidified him not getting that premier dollar amount because obviously with Myles Garrett resetting the market for the edge rushers, it's not going to help out down the stretch. What are your guys' thoughts on the trade market? And where do you think, possible suitors still out there? Or anything like that?
I mean, I think he's going to find out quickly that he's not going to get the money he's looking for. Yes, he is a great tackle, a great edge. He's great. He's one of the best in the league. He's probably the best pass rusher in the league, but that's all he is. I mean, nowadays you need to be versatile, especially if you're going to be on the edge. Otherwise, you will get blown up way too much. So, I mean, I think he's going to find out quickly that he doesn't have the market that he's hoping. And maybe that's going to help the Bengals out. Or if he does, the Bengals can get a lot for him because, I mean, they have a lot of needs on the defensive side. They'll save a lot of money if he doesn't stick around. And they can sign other players. I mean, you can probably sign 2 guys to fill his position. And, I mean, sometimes if you just get more, it helps you out in the long run.
Most definitely. Nick, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was a good tactic. I hate to say it, but it was a good tactic by the Bengals to say, hey, yeah, go look for trades. Go look for the other teams that are looking to trade for you and pay you what you think that you're willing to pay. Because I think that Trey is going to be humbled and he's going to realize that teams are not just looking for a pass rusher. They're looking for someone who is, really a jack of all trades at the edge rusher. Yeah, you can get to the quarterback, but we also need you to, maybe cover a back out of the backfield. Um, you know, Instead of getting the sack, go get the running back to stop the dump pass that's going to go over top of your head. Um, Things like that. And I also think that, with Trey having that deal on the table, with knowing that the Bengals want him there,
Yeah.
it's kind of a good thing for him too, because he knows that the Bengals want him to be on the team, and he wants to be with the Bengals. He doesn't want to be a distraction, to quote himself. So, not being a distraction, going out, tendering trade offers, coming back, realizing, hey, maybe I'm not worth what I think I'm actually worth. Let's make a deal with the Bengals because I want to stay here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Honestly, it reminds me of Lamar Jackson when he went in and bet on himself. He went out there. They told him that he could pursue trades. The Ravens did. So the Bengals did the same thing, and it literally mirrors itself. The market isn't out there for him to pay him as much money as he's looking for, and so he ended up taking a pretty hefty deal with the Ravens. Lamar Jackson did. So I'm hoping that that's kind of what we're going to see with Trey. Maybe a little bit more team friendly for his position. But like the Commanders have already made deals of who they're trying to go after. The Saints have made deals. I think the only one that makes sense to me right now that maybe might make a deal for him and is in a need is the Chargers. With them letting Joey Bosa go. Now that would be kind of a weird situation because then you have all of our lovely Ohio State fan base saying, "Go get him! We don't need Trey. Let's bring Joey Bosa." Joey Bosa is a lot older than Trey Hendrickson. Okay, he's got a lot of more wear and tear on his body because he's been the guy for the Chargers. I was actually at the draft in Chicago when he got drafted by the Chargers. I think they were still in San Diego at that point. I don't remember, but that's besides the point. I don't think that it's going to be a one-for-one swap between those two. So, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm really hoping that this just, like you guys said, opens his eyes. We get a more team-friendly deal, and he's back for us for the next, 3 or 4 years and winning Super Bowls. Because that's what this is all about at the end of the day is winning Super Bowls. Bringing at least the first one home to Cincinnati. All right. Other league notables. You guys want to talk about other things around the league, or you guys just want to shoot
I
it
mean,
around and talk, go into off-season banter?
I kind of want to talk about a little bit around the league.
All right, let's talk about it.
Just looking at what the AFC North has done, Steelers mainly. I mean, they are trying to go all in, especially if they go for Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he might be washed, but he's still better than Russell Wilson, and he's still better than that the other kid. I can't remember his name right now.
Justin Fields, who already left for,
Yeah,
he signed with the Jets.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's better than both of them still. Having a good team around him, he could still manage a game and potentially make some noise. Why? I guess I don't understand how you see all these other teams making these moves to improve themselves every single year, but the Bengals are doing none of the sort. They're signing their own guys to. I mean, they're guys that are relatively inexpensive,
Right.
but I don't get it because you've got a big need at guard. Last I saw, Kevin Zeitler's still around, and he probably still has a good year or two, and he's still
Yep.
a good guard. So, I mean, why are you not going for people like that?
Just something I just looked up. Another guy that the league is talking about potential suitors for the Bengals is Tevin Jenkins, who only allowed four sacks in 2024, one QB hit, 12 hurries, 17 pressures, and had a pass block grade of 75.8. Cordell Folson allowed 6 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, 27 hurries, and 43 pressures with a 49.4 pass block grade. So obviously there's an upgrade there that's out there, which would be nice, just a little bit,
Just a
right? Just
little bit.
right. So I agree with you. I also, talking about the Steelers, if they bring in Aaron Rodgers, you have DK Metcalf, and you have George Pickens. Who fights who first?
I think it's mutual. It's a mutual combat situation.
Oh, it's a triple threat like WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, it's a mutual combat situation.
My money's on DK. Dude is a freaking
Yeah.
monster.
But
Don't get me wrong, he's up there in years, but he could still get it.
so I think that the whole topic of what the Bengals should do is literally talk to death on not only our podcast but every podcast across the NFL. Right? I think that every ESPN show and every sports show and any sports writer has already talked what the Bengals should do to death. We know they're not going to do what they should do. So what I think we should talk about for off-season banter, and I'm just going to go straight into it, is all of these games being played overseas. What do you think? Net
It works
good
great for
or
Brazil.
net bad?
It was awesome in Brazil. I loved watching everybody slip.
Do you think it's going to be a net good or a net bad for the whole league? Because apparently there's at some point there was mentions of talks of maybe potentially moving the Super Bowl internationally.
That would be crazy. I don't know how you could do that because Nick, I'm gonna hold my tongue a little bit, but that's bad business. Your market is here. I know you're trying to open it internationally and things like that, but the fan bases are here. Who's gonna spend? It's already expensive enough to go to the Super Bowl, or any of the stuff around the Super Bowl, and you're just gonna encourage more payments and fees and more money out of everyday general fans' pockets to go watch a game in Germany or Brazil or China or wherever else that we want to put the Super Bowl.
See, I'm not advocating for anything overseas, period. I think that the overseas games are absolutely ridiculous. I think that you taking away a home game from one of the teams, it provides a huge disadvantage to the teams that don't get that extra home game. Not only that, if you were to move any of the postseason out of the United States, like what you were saying, it's already super expensive to go. Imagine what a flight would cost to go, and then not only that, the hotel stay and everything else. I mean, not even talking about the tickets. And like the amount of time that the NFL has spent trying to move the NFL out of the United States and try to like open up the viewerships, like how much net viewers has the NFL gotten because of that? It can't be worth the investment that they've done. I don't understand it. I don't understand what they're doing. Really, catering to like the local markets, like to like the Bengals, to the Bears, to the Jets, to each individual team, each one of the 32 teams. I think that that's going to bring them bigger viewers, and really opening up, viewership of being able to find games for, say for you, Zach, you're in Bama and you want to watch a Bengals game, make it more accessible to be able to watch your team.
Right.
Not moving it out internationally to make it some form of primetime game. So now it's offered on primetime, but make it accessible to watch the games like what the MLB has done on Amazon.
It's true.
The MLB is doing a lot to make viewership so much easier.
But to your point too, look at the fan bases and the popularity between those two sports right now. It's literally flip flopped. Remember back in 2006, Great American was sold out on a random Tuesday night on a 500 ball club,
We
right?
also had Joey Votto, so Jay Bruce.
2006.
Wait,
I'm talking
no,
2006.
I'm thinking way before. Never mind. Get out of here.
Okay. Yeah,
Keep going.
I'm talking about 2006. You had Adam Dunn, Austin Kearns, Karen Griffey Jr., all of those guys. A random Tuesday night in September when you're out of the race, you're in the fourth or fifth place or fourth or sixth place because we had the Astros in the division at that time, and it was just packed, and the ratings were up and everything was great. And now you got that with the NFL where every home game is packed out regardless of fan base. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars, for crying out loud, are sold out every week. The Raiders are even selling out because because they moved to Vegas. Now they've got all of those out of market teams flying into Vegas to go watch their games, but they're selling out tickets. So the marketing is here and the market is here. So I think it needs to stay in house and just let us spend our own hard earned money to go watch our teams or view our teams however we choose. Not take it out of market. I know that there's money out there and that's cool and all, but like you also have money here that you're taking it out of everyday people, everyday fans' hands. So, Josh, any thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, kind of just to mirror what you all were saying, I just looked some stuff up about the NFL's profits overseas. So looking at this is saying, where was it? The NFL finance staff now say the shareable revenue for 2024 is expected to be minimal, which two sources told them that basically it would be effectively zero. Between all the marketing that they're doing overseas and the money that they're getting back, it isn't profitable. I mean, maybe they're wrong. Maybe it is profitable and it's going to help the teams in the long run end up having more salary cap. But, I mean, so far, the past few years have not shown that that's the case. And, I mean, like I was saying before, the Brazil game, that was a complete wreck. I mean, you went to a soccer stadium that was soaked, real grass, destroyed, and nobody keep their footing. That was a dangerous game. They should have called that game off as soon as they saw the field instead of letting their guys get the risk of getting hurt.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I said I'm surprised we didn't see more Achilles or ACL tears or PCL tears during that game. I remember that game. That was quite crazy, and I'm glad that we haven't had any for the Bengals yet. I know we've gone to London. I'm just glad they're not on the schedule this year. You can have the Giants, you can have the Jets, you can have the Jaguars do whatever they want over internationally, but keep the Bengals on the state side for me, please. All right. I don't have any other offseason banter topics. Josh, you got anything off the top of your whim?
No, I'm good.
Nick, what else you got? I know you got a bunch of them.
Let's do closing thoughts so we don't keep it here too long.
All right, fair enough. Let's go to closing thoughts. Josh, kick us off.
Well, free agency's going. There's still guys out there that they need to get. Just please do something. I know you guys listen to this podcast. Just listen to what I'm telling you right now. Get the guys you need. You can afford them. Restructure some deals. Win the Super Bowl. That's all we want. We're not asking for that much.
Just one for now.
Zach, I'll go second so that way you can finish us off and plug the socials. I'm just going to leave that Michael Scottism to itself. Anyways. If anybody's actually listening, hopefully they're laughing right now. But, final thoughts, yes, Casey is on the DL. Love the man to death. Can't wait for him to be back. Whenever he gets that opportunity to come back, that we're going to welcome back with open arms. Like Josh was saying, Bengals need to finalize that deal for Chase. I think that, in my eyes, I think they have the numbers already there, and I think they're waiting to sign right before the deadline. Simply to make sure that everybody else gets signed first. So that way they can definitely confirm that they have what they need for the cap space. Moving forward, next couple weeks, we're probably going to have the draft episode. Who should we be drafting? Running our mock drafts, looking into all the fun. Definitely want to plug in. Take a look at our shop, look at our shirts, hats. I think we're doing flaps too, possibly. Maybe some hoodies that might be still up. Take a look at them and check us out. Zach.
All right. Mike Brown, I know, like Josh said, I know you listen to us all the time. We're your favorite Bengals podcast, just like everybody else in the Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati area. So I'm going to demonstrate something for you, okay? You see this? This is me digging into my pocket. I don't have any money, but I know you're sitting on $6 million or $6 billion, in that pocket of yours. I need you to start paying some people, okay? Secondly, as Nick said, if you don't already follow us on our social medias, we're on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, TikTokies, Threads. Again, if you have a new one that you want to throw at us that we should be on that we're not on, go ahead and give us a like, follow, and subscribe. Share it. Always share our content. We'll be happy to collaborate with you too if you're one of those other Bengals podcasts out there. Like Nick said, we have an open shop on our website, talkinbengals.com. And then our social plug is also at talkin_Bengals. The only G is Nick over there, okay? All right. With that, I bid you all adieu. Good night and hoo day.
Who day?
Who day?